I saw you kind of have begun to stray away from similar lineups. When did that intention of starting to we're gonna do a complete overhaul and really focus on these new kids?
If we just keep doing the same thing, we're not gonna sell the tickets. And I think it's important to evolve as we move forward, appeal to a new base of fans. Our goal is to be the home for hip hop Disney World, hip hop Super Bowl. These other festivals are like turning their backs on hip hop right now. Coachella had 6 or 8 rappers on it.
You mentioned that Kendrick Lamar, Future, Wayne, Rocky, Travis, Thug, Mac, and somebody said, bring this magic back. And you said impossible.
Yeah, you just couldn't do it. Some of the responses to me saying that are like, do it, I'd pay that.
That lineup would cost over $30 million, and the tickets would have to cost upwards of $1,000 plus.
The more expensive you make something, the less people are gonna buy it.
The international appeal of this. The UK is very heavy on here with like SD Kid and YT. Can't forget about Fake Mink. Sky is Your God, Asian artist, which I think is super
Chinese.
sick. Owen Wilson, teaching Owen Wilson how to be YBL at Rolling Loud.
Yeah, that was lit. He's starring in our movie. Super nice guy.
Ye and Ty Dolla Rolling Loud LA the extra day that was added on top. What went into making that happen?
Making that happen was crazy because he wants to perform in the round. That's when he had the sheet, the white fabric that was like in a circle, and he was projecting on it. That's not easy to do.
You can see Wit, Gabe, P, a show where I invite like-minded individuals, cool artists, entrepreneurs, all that stuff that I just want to have a conversation with, who I think are dope. The person who I have next to me today, we've been trying to do this for a long time. We've had like multiple conversations, doing interviews and whatnot, but I feel like this is like the perfect time. I got Tariq, co-founder, co-CEO of Rolling Loud.
What's up, Gabe?
In the building, man. How we feeling today?
I feel good, bro. It's a good day. Got the lineup out. Blessed.
I know. So today's the day that we're filming it with, the lineup literally dropped 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
Have you gotten sleep?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah. It's been a little bit of a whirlwind, but you know we got a great team that supports Matt and myself, so we get to sleep a little bit.
What has been like, since we're on the topic, because I want to talk about everything, but since the lineup is obviously the most important thing that's happening at this moment in time, what is like a typical like lineup announcement day for you? Because I know with the Florida one is a little different because it's the one that's closest to you as well.
So this one was a little different this time because we went instantly on sale with the lineup instead of like drop the lineup and on sale a few days later. Yeah. So this one had a combination of like dropping the lineup and monitoring like where it's getting posted and the marketing side, but also monitoring sales too. So we do like a team Zoom and we're looking at the sales, looking at the posts going up. I was probably on Zoom this morning for like 3 hours or so. Jesus. And then it's like doing press and stuff. So did a Zoom interview, did a Hot 97 interview. Yep. Now I'm here, gonna pop around to some more places, just working the rounds. Phones going crazy. People texting, oh, the lineup's dope. Oh, why am I not on the lineup?
Oh, you got a couple of those this morning?
Yeah.
Happens, man. I hate getting those type of texts too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why did you put me on this lineup on like a cipher with OTR? Like, why not me? How do you respond to like or how do you handle those texts when you get them?
I haven't responded yet. I gotta think about some politically correct response. It's never like. It's not like they don't deserve to be on the lineup, but this time around we were just trying to do a lot of new shit. Yeah. Like not book a lot of the same artists that we've booked 100 times. It's a new decade for us, being that we started in 2015. So it's time for us to try some new shit to bring up the the underground artists that of today, and these young cats that are going crazy, and to really just set the tone for the new era and give opportunity too for the fans to miss the artists that we've booked 100 times. You know what I mean? So that when we do book them again, they're excited for it. Right,
because I was going through your Twitter, I think the other day, or I was going through Rolling Loud's Twitter, one of them when I was preparing for this, and I remember you were talking about the announcement, which by the way, I also saw that the pre-sales like sold out for the most part, right?
Yeah, we sold over 35,000 pre-sales. It's crazy.
How much does the whole venue hold?
It's gonna hold about like 60 to 70.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. But as I was going through your Twitter, I remember you were talking about the lineup, and I saw this one kid who you actually replied to. He was like, "Oh," or she was like, "Oh, could we not get like the same recycled lineup over and over again?" And you're like, "Nah, new everything. Like, it's gonna be completely different." And obviously, that was also you addressing, I guess, like something that I guess most people consider like a criticism of Rolling Loud. I guess. But for you, what was like, especially with this one, because I saw you kind of have begun to stray away from similar lineups when you were doing, obviously, of course, with the international lineups, but also with the California lineup last year. You saw some different faces on there. and kind of some more experimental stuff like with Uno Miles and all of them. Like I was like, okay, I see where it's going. With this Rolling Loud, what was kind of like, when did that intention of starting to like, oh hey, we're gonna do a complete overhaul of like what we've been doing and really focus on like these new kids. When did that kind of start coming about for you?
I think it started like, first of all, these newer artists are just making so much noise right now, like selling out big shows and streaming well and stuff. But it started just like you start seeing people say, you get the feeling too, but it's validated by you start seeing people say like, damn, like Rolling Loud's the same lineup every like like I don't want that same lineup, and it's funny because you got two sides of the coin. You're gonna have people that are like, man, where's so and so? Where's so and so? Like that's what I want. It's like but it's 100 of you, but there's 100 other people that are like, yo, give me something new, And I think it's important to evolve as we move forward. If we just keep doing the same thing we were doing for the past 10 years, it's not going to evolve. We're not going to sell the tickets we need to sell. We need to appeal to a new base of fans.
Right.
At somebody that was 25 years old in 2015 that went to their first Rolling Loud, they're 35 now, and they might not be as into going to a festival. We need to appeal to the youth, or even if somebody that was 20 and is now 30, or was 18 now 28. Like we're all getting older, and the kids. They want to rage. They want to go to a show. You know what I mean? So we got to give the kids what they're listening to.
Right. No, and I love that, and I really do love this lineup. Like I think it's perfectly curated, and also like aside from like Don Toliver and Playboy Cardi, who obviously have been like Rolling Loud vets, we have NBA YoungBoy on here. Who I saw you post a picture up with him. I think it was on your IG like a couple weeks ago.
A couple months ago.
It was a couple months ago. A couple months ago, and I remember like when I was getting ready for this, like 2 nights ago, I was like, I feel like he did this on purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. That was the day we locked in the deal.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had a show in Miami at the Kaseya Center, and we had the deal terms worked out, but there was a couple little issues that he wanted to discuss, and so we discussed it, and basically he was all right. We're locked in, so that was good. But yeah, I posted that because we had gone basically dark last year. We did the show March 2025 in LA, and then people were like, all right, where's Miami? Where's Miami? And we didn't really answer that question. But I wanted to put something out there, to let people know we're cooking. So put that photo out with @Rolling Loud and the eye emojis, and people kind of say, okay, they're cooking. But I think it was important, speaking of that, just let people miss us a little bit, Let people be mad. Like, yo, where the fuck is the news? Like, when are you dropping, blah, blah, blah. It was good to see. It was hard to look at, but it was also good to see, like, okay, people care. They want us back. They want to miss us. And just reclaiming our magic,
Right. And so to kind of go over a bit of this lineup, man, like a few that I'm very excited about, obviously SD Kid. I love that, like, Nespen and Xavier So Bass are, like, right there in that top line, too, on Friday. I'm trying to see who else. Obviously, Chow. We love Chow. You got Femi on there. You got YT. So Camo, who's doing amazing. Sav from Canada. And then on Saturday, we got Pooh Shiesty back, which I think is incredible. Cause, you talk about reclaiming that magic. Pooh Shiesty's also one lately who has reclaimed his magic, coming home. Right. Nine Vicious, Baby Chief Dude, who's going to do incredible. Molly Santana. Until Japan, like it's Nino Breeze, who I think is incredible as well too. Pretty fun, all that. You got B-Jax on there,
absolutely.
Which shout out B-Jax.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, which is a stag day with YoungBoy, and then of course you got like the Sexy Reds, the Boss Mandilos, the No Caps, Che, Osama-san, and you got Black Boy Max being, I believe that's the first streamer to ever do a Rolling Loud, right? That's ever.
Yeah, that's a performer.
As a performer,
yeah.
So it's kind of cool because. At the same time as I feel like, I see, and then of course like Fadi, Golden Boy Counter, Big West, you still have that Florida in there, what I'm saying, which I think is super sick. But what I like the most about this lineup is because like I feel like you said, it is very like heavily underground inspired, but at the same time, I think for me, this is definitely one of your most diverse lineups that I think I've seen up until this point too.
Appreciate that. I think like hip hop went so mainstream as we grew. Like when we started Rolling Loud in 2015, it was straight underground. Like if you came to Rolling Loud in 2015, you were really part of the culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You were in it. And you got into 2018, 2019, 2021, it became more like, all right, it was more like an everyday person could enjoy Rolling Loud because it was so, like, artists were on the radio, they were, they were the top of the charts, all that stuff. But that's never what mattered to us. Our goal is to be the home for hip hop. Our goal is to be hip hop Disney World, hip hop Super Bowl, and that place where hip hop can thrive. As all these other festivals are like turning their backs on hip hop right now.
Yeah.
Like Coachella had 6 or 8 rappers on it out of that 100 or whatever artists they have. Whereas in other years when hip hop's on top, they got way more hip hop.
Gumball too.
Yeah, it's like all these festivals are doing less and less hip hop. It's like, okay, bet y'all were never here for real to begin with. So we're standing true to that, and it's important that as the genre evolves, that we evolve with it. So just to keep showcasing new vibes and also giving people the slots that they deserve. Like Don's got an album coming out. Don has been doing direct support for Travis for years, but his sets are going almost as crazy as Travis's, so it's time. All right, Don, you got a new album coming. You are an incredible performer. It's time for you to headline. You just went and did the business.
This is his first headline, right?
Yeah.
For you guys? Okay.
Yeah, so there's only one headliner on this bill has headlined Rolling Loud before. That was Playboi Carti.
Yeah.
The other two, Don Toliver and Youngboy, they've never headlined a Rolling Loud.
Which is, again, leads into what we were just talking about like you kind of ushering in this new era of Rolling Loud with having, for the first time having 2 people headlining that haven't headlined before.
Yeah, it's important. Like new headliners, new vibes. Gotta freshen it up. And it's not that we're never gonna headline Future or Travis or Kendrick or any of the big awesome headliners that we've had in the past. But we'll try something different this time.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that has really impressed me about this lineup too, and especially what you have been doing lately, but with a couple of lineups, has been like the international appeal of this, right? Obviously, the UK is very heavy on here with like SD Kid and all of them, and Nems and YT, but you also had
Fake Mink, can't
forget about Fake Mink. But you also had this one artist on there, Sky is Your God.
Yeah.
Asian artist, which I think is super
Chinese,
sick.
But he sold out Terminal 5.
Crazy. Yeah.
He self-promoted it too. Like booked the venue and sold the tickets himself.
See, I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool because you mentioned how like 10 years ago, and even like early 2020s, like kind of like hip hop was very much like everybody could go to Rolling Loud and find something that they like there. But since it's become so mainstream globally too, I think here inside of America, you and I feel like have like a sense of this, but like I guess like the average American wasn't always so hip to like what was going on around the world hip hop wise.
Yeah, it's more. It feels like in the past at least it felt more like America wasn't looking outside of America. It was like the rest of the world was looking into America, and now it feels like our eyes are opening to what's going on overseas.
Yeah. Like I feel like obviously you having all the guys from the UK, and then obviously the Chinese artists on there has been like really kind of like the stamp of like approval that I think a lot of these guys needed here in America to be like, hey, look, like hip hop isn't just like an American thing anymore. It's like it's global, and like even like what China's doing with their hip hop scene right now is insane.
No, it's wild. It's super wild. Like they got whole hip hop shows in China with straight Chinese artists.
They got they have like their own like XXL freshman. You know what I'm talking about too?
Yeah. I don't know what it's called, but yeah.
My boy DJ Yida, who was like the only Chinese DJ who's done OTR, he like sent it to me one day, and I'm like, what the hell?
I don't know what they're saying, but it's lit.
But it's hard, right? It's hard, right? But like with that being said, when you were going into this, was the international component kind of like at the forefront of your mind for it as well?
Of the lineup?
Of the lineup, yeah. Of the lineup.
We want it to be a destination. We want the whole world to want to fly in for this show.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely on our minds for sure.
Right. And you mentioned that people were, you guys went radio silent for a little bit last year, and everybody wanted to answer like what was going on with Miami, right? Can we like what is like the answer to that question now?
Sure. So Miami, with exception of the first year was in February, but Miami historically was always in May.
Yeah.
The month of May. And most of the time, Mother's Day weekend. And that's when we felt like was the best time for the festival. We got displaced from May and had to go to July because F1, like the car race, went to the venue, and like their load in and load out is so crazy that like even though they're just one weekend in May, you can't do a show for all of May. So we weren't able to do May anymore at our venue.
Because of F1.
Yeah, so we moved to July. But July in Miami is just so hot. Like, it's crazy hot. So we did July a few times. It was, tickets sold, but it was just like, yo, it's too hot, So we tried December. December, the weather was great, but it's tough to, people traveling for the holidays, like, doing a show 10 days before Christmas. Most people, if they're traveling for a show, or if they're traveling in December, they're traveling for visiting family, and if they're spending money, they're spending money on other people. Sure. You're not really spending on yourself in December. So the December Miami show in 2024 ended up being like a more local show, like a more like Florida-based show. So people weren't flying in as much because, like all the reasons I just said. So we were like, all right, how do we get back to May? And the option of Orlando emerged. So that was like the main reason, but also just Orlando has great hotel deals. Yeah. Like Orlando, I think, is a city with the most hotel rooms in the world. And on top of that, it's cheap to fly into Orlando. So it's cost effective for not just us, but for the fans to be able to fly in from wherever and experience Rolling Loud for much cheaper than it used to be.
Yeah. It was funny because like my best friend, she lives in Orlando with her husband, and I sent it to her, and she's like, "Oh wow, I've never been to a Rolling Loud. This is amazing."
Yeah.
And me and her were having just like a little conversation about it because like she goes to Miami a lot too because you know how close it is.
Yeah.
And I think that what I really appreciate about you guys doing it in Orlando is obviously the hotels, like you could really stay anywhere in that Orlando area.
Yeah.
And getting to the venue is still like comfortable.
Yeah.
Versus in the Miami area, and also I think in Orlando, like, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you have more space now to do
for the venue itself.
For the venue.
It's the amount of space is comparable. Hard Rock Stadium in Miami is huge.
Yeah.
So it's not like, but the hotels that's really the ticket. You know, because like, dude, hotels in Miami, there's not really like affordable options for hotels in Miami. Or you staying at some dump if it's affordable. Like you got a big poppin' weekend in Miami, the hotels are dumb expensive. They're all on the beach or Brickell or what have you. Like in Orlando, there's so many hotel rooms to choose from. Yeah, like Winter Park. I like staying in Winter Park. That's like kind of like the perfect. Winter Park is nice.
Yeah, that's like the perfect area to just duck off if you want to duck off and then go do whatever you got to do in Orlando. So.
Yeah, there's like International Drive is full of hotels. Like there's so many. Yeah, there's so many regions of Orlando. I lived there for 5 years, so I'm pretty familiar with Orlando, and it's got, for people flying in, it's one of the most affordable cities in America.
Facts. I feel like with this festival, there have been so many conversations in like the media over the last like 6-7 months about like hip hop not having any new superstars, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's like where like Rolling Loud plays such a crucial place, because obviously like the festival that you and Matt have created has been like the breaking ground for so many people from like the SoundCloud era to even like the early 2020s after the pandemic, even in New York with the New York drill era too and whatnot. It's become such an important place for artists to become superstars and explode. And I think that this by you doing this lineup too, and even with the artists that you picked, like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is also that statement that's like, no, like we have superstars,
We believe in artists before anybody else does.
Facts.
That's if you ask me like, yo, what do you do for a living? It's like I might be biting this from somebody else. I don't think this is like an original quote, but like but what do I do for a living? I believe in artists before anybody else. Yeah. And so it happens to be that the artists that we believe in tend to be superstars or in the making or soon to be superstars or about to become superstars. So if you look at all of our past lineups, you look at those lineups today and you couldn't even do it because like the amount of money it would cost now, like the ticket would have to be like $1,000, $2,000, because you'd be spending crazy amount of millions of dollars on the lineup. You look at our old lineups that would have like Kendrick, Wayne, Future, Rocky, so and so. So like artists are just continuing to grow, and so you gotta. It's like I wish I knew it was the good times when it was the good times. Right. It's like don't like. If you're not necessarily all the way familiar, if you're somebody that's been going to Rolling Loud and you're not all the way up on all these new artists, and you're looking at this lineup and you're like, where's you know, where's Travis? Where's Uzi? Where's, you know, all these artists that have been on Rolling Loud forever? I would challenge those people, like, take a listen to the lineup, you know, like, go watch footage from these artist shows, take a look at their socials, like, listen to their music, and, like, you'll probably be pretty surprised, like, oh, this is fire, you know what I mean? You're just not hip to it yet. You might just be unk status, you know, like, which I am, you know, but I try to keep myself young by keeping my finger on the pulse, but all the future superstars or the current superstars of today are on our lineup.
I agree.
That's a fact.
It was funny because you're talking about like the past lineups. I actually had a tweet saved of this kid. It was a January 5th tweet of this Twitter account, Dobson, posting the 2017 Rolling Loud lineup, which, like you mentioned, that Kendrick Lamar, Future, Wayne, Rocky, Travis, Thug, Mac, rest in peace, of course, Tyler, the Creator, Uzi, Migos, Savage, XXX, Playboy Cardi, so on. And somebody said, Tariq, bring back the magic, bring this magic back, right? And you said impossible. These days, that lineup would cost over $30 million, and the tickets would have to cost upwards of $1,000+.
Yeah, I mean, 1,000, 2,000. I couldn't even tell you what that lineup would really cost. Like, I'm guesstimating, like, you know, but
it's a pretty good guesstimate at that point, honestly.
Yeah, but yeah, you just couldn't do it. And by the way, people on the internet, like, some of the responses to me saying that are like, do it, I'd pay that, right? But it's like, okay, you might, but the amount of people that need to pay that would not pay that. Like, there's a thing called price elasticity. Like, the more expensive you make something, the less people are going to buy it, you know? So you and your little niche of people might be able to afford it, but not enough people can afford it.
Right. And obviously, a big thing about Rolling Loud is appealing to the youth, and the youth is definitely not going to be able to pay. Yeah. The majority of the kids coming to the festival are not going to be able to pay $1,000+ to pull up.
Right, and we're conscious of that. So our ticket used to be $400 all in for GA, and we've reduced it this year. We started at $249.
Oh wow.
And now it's $279 because we sold out of the $249. But it was important for us to make the festival more approachable to these kids, and also, like, bro, in the economy, you know what I mean? Like, it's tough out here for a lot of people, you know? And so we want to make it so whether you're a young kid that, you know, just you're a kid so you don't have that much money, or you're working or hustling or whatever it is, like, we just want it to be more approachable for people. And $150 cheaper makes a big difference.
I agree. That was going to be my next question. Like, just on a business side of things, like, how is the business of the festival different now than it was a couple of years ago? You know.
It's I mean, if we're talking about like pricing and stuff, like artists are more expensive. You know, that's what I'm getting at in that tweet. It's like, I wish Kendrick would charge me what he charged me or charged us in 2017. I'd book Kendrick every time, you know? But every time I book Kendrick is more money than the last time. Every time I book Travis is more money than the last time. These artists just get bigger and bigger and sell out more and more stadiums. You know, like, I got to book a lineup that 60,000 people can afford to go see.
Sure.
You know, and that's the balance, right? And I know it's hard to understand if you're just like, you're just at home looking at the lineup, you know, and you're just like, yo, this is what I want. I want this and I want this. Like, bro, it's not McDonald's, you know? And even the McChicken costs more than it used to. Yeah. You know?
No, I genuinely understand, like, I want this, because it's like, I think, like, obviously different business, but we deal with that, you know? They're like, oh, well, why haven't you had Kendrick on the radar? I'm like, you know, well, if Kendrick wanted, you don't think I would love to?
Yeah.
You don't think you don't think,
yo, it's crazy. You had Drake, though. I didn't have Drake, but you had Drake on the radar.
Hey, man, you know.
Yo, do you say I had Drake on the radar, or do you say I had Drake on the radar?
I think I say I had Drake on the radar, right?
I said we had Drake on the radar.
Oh, you said Drake on the radar?
Shorthand.
Yeah. It was so funny. We had this kid in here last night. His name's Judah Weston. He's from out here. He's with Johnny Shipe. Really, really great artist. Really cool kid. He's 17 years old, and he, like, walks in. I'm just sitting on the couch, like, it's like 9 o'clock doing my work, and he's like, yo, you know what I like about Mr. Gabe? First of all, calling me Mr. Gabe was fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
Right? He's like, I like Mr. Gabe because I walked in here with 20 people, because he had, like, a whole set behind him of all these people. And he's like, and he just is on his laptop chilling. He's like, he met Drake. He don't care about what's going on in here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not really what it is. I'm just locked in. You know when when you're like your flow state, you're just locked in.
Yeah.
But he mentioned that to me last night, and like he's a kid. So when Drake came on the radar almost 3 years ago now, he was probably like 14, 15.
Yeah.
And like he's like, what was that night like for you? I'm like, I don't know. I don't really like.
Yeah.
Think about it like that. I just kind of like we just kind of did it, and then I was like, all right, cool. What do we do next? You know, it's kind of how I always looked at it.
Yo, that was fire. That was a big moment, and that was combination.
Combination.
That shit went dumb viral.
You know, people still walk in here and like they'll walk into the and he'll say that because Calvin's here most of the day. They'll just walk in and be like combination. I'm just like off rip, just no other words, just that. I'm like, oh my god,
that's funny.
But I was gonna also like bring up because like there was that viral video of you even talking about like wanting to get Drake. To do was that like obviously now I know it's very difficult, kind of similar with the Kendrick thing. But like early on, like in the early years, was that like 2015, 16, 17? Was that ever like even a close possibility?
I mean, we've always had talks with whether the booking agent or like Future the Prince, his longtime good friend and manager, or even like Chubbs.
Yeah.
We talk to all types of people on the team, whether I'm talking to them or whether Matt's talking to them, and it's always been good vibes, but never got it done.
Never got it done.
Yeah.
Has he been to one before? Like just like came to one?
If he did, I wasn't aware. He might have snuck into one or something, but nah. He's never to my knowledge, unless he was there undercover, he's never been to one.
Seems like something he would do.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
I would if I were famous and I wanted to go to some shit and I didn't want people bothering me.
Yeah.
I'm going like ski masked up, or
right.
Like you're not gonna know I'm there.
I'm sure that at some Rolling Louds that has happened with some type of people, just not Drake.
He watches the stream though. I remember like 2017, Jaden Smith doing the moonwalk on stage, and Drake like posted like a video on his story or something like that, like of him watching it on a laptop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like on the live stream. And I remember Toronto, we passed him like a private live stream link. Like we weren't even streaming the show, but we passed him like a private link so he could watch it. Yeah, we thought he'd come to Toronto because it was in Toronto.
Yeah.
But he didn't. But he did watch it.
That's hard.
He wanted to see Smiley.
Of course.
Yeah,
that was my next thing. I'm like, you have had like OVO artists on the lineup though.
For sure.
So yeah, but yeah, man. The one thing I always say about him is he's always watching.
Yeah.
Like
he's very in tune with the culture, from what I can tell. And I've been blessed to have the opportunity to meet him and have a brief conversation with him. And yeah, he was like very aware of Rolling Loud and gave me and Matt our flowers. Yeah, cool dude.
Yeah, I like how we always like catch him like every now and then like liking some like underground artists on OTR, and I'll be like, see, he's always watching. I'm like, even when you think he's not watching, he's always watching.
Never the ones you expect.
Never the ones you expect. Also, that's true too. But it's so funny because like as I've watched Rolling Loud go more international, like since the pandemic, right? It's like whenever you announce one of these festivals, it's funny because I'm always like, Tariq knows. Like I see like the announcements of all these. I'm like, oh, he knows. Like I think obviously outside of Miami, Cali, the Bay, New York, Australia, Portugal, Toronto, Rotterdam, Germany, Thailand, Austria, and India. And every single time that you do one of these, I'm like, oh, he knows something. And
not just me, it's a team.
Well, the team, yeah, the Rolling Loud team.
My partner
knows
Matt,
something,
myself, our whole team, like we're looking around the whole world for sure. And also, the world is coming to us.
Yeah.
So we have people coming to us like, yo, bring Rolling Loud to our country, right? Or we want to work with you to bring Rolling Loud to our country. So we got more countries on the way. I'm
excited because like what I remember like when I was like in my prime Rolling Loud, like I could mosh pit and do everything. Like I remember like it was kind of like you had Miami, you had the West Coast shows like the Bay or LA and like New York all kind of like simultaneously going. Like it was like, okay, every year we know these are the Rolling Louds we're gonna get.
Yeah.
And then after a while, obviously a lot of those stopped, and I'm definitely gonna talk about the New York stuff, but all that stopped, and then I started noticing, okay, you do like one-off show in this country, maybe come back in a couple years, maybe don't.
Yeah.
Do one-off show in this country, do one-off show in this country. What was kind of like the business move to kind of switch up from doing like, oh, hey, we're gonna do multiple shows in America every year to now like we're gonna do one, and then we're gonna do like one off here, one off there, one off here. Like what was the business move behind that?
I think like when we had 4 U.S. shows, we ended up just competing against ourselves.
Yeah.
So like a lot of our ticket sales, people flying in, and then you kind of get you become so regular, like that people are like, oh, I'll catch the next one. You know, like, oh, this lineup isn't checking all the boxes I wanted to check. I'll wait for the next one. You know, people start saying, oh, there's a Rolling Loud every week. It's like, well, no, it's like once a quarter. But yeah, it does feel a little too regular, you know, because it's like you get through one, you announce the next one like immediately. You don't give people the time to miss you, you know, which I think was very big for this upcoming show, is that they had about 10 months to miss us, you know, until we came with another announcement. So, and then we just kept reducing the amount of U.S. shows. And as far as the international expansion, it's just like, all right, it's a lot tougher for people from other countries to fly to the United States to come to Rolling Loud. Like, you know, people do it. Like, I see it in the ticket sales reports that people are coming from other countries, but obviously it's a lot less than people in the United States. So we want to bring the experience to them. We want to be stewards of the culture and just bring this shit worldwide.
Yeah, I remember when you dropped the India lineup. Obviously, having like Hanuman Khan on there, and like you had a bunch of other like local artists from that country, and seeing the reception of that was so dope because like you could really, you know, I think it's like once like it sounds weird, but like once like an American platform as big as Rolling Loud is now like going to these other countries and showing love to like the artists in those countries, it really changes like a lot of like things for them. You know, obviously like American audiences tap in. But now it gives them that sense of like, hey, what I'm doing is like validated.
Yeah.
You know, like the music I'm creating is valid. Like Rolling Loud is coming to my country and choosing me to be on the festival and show love to me. And I think that's kind of been, at least for me, watching you guys do it has been like the most beautiful part for me, because like a lot of these artists like we're tapped in with in some sense, or we know about them, and seeing them like just looking at these lineups for all these different countries and seeing, oh wow, like the Rolling Loud team put him on there.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like that's so cool to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, we even in India we had a Indian headliner, which that was the first time that we had in one of the countries that we've been to a headliner from that country. So his name's Karan Aujla, and it was a great set. Like that shit went crazy. But yes, I think it's just important wherever you go, whether we're in Florida and putting Florida artists on, you know, like, or we're in New York putting New York artists on. If we're going to a country, we better be putting some artists on from that country. But we also got to bring them that, you know, what's the United States' biggest export? Culture. So we got to bring them that hip-hop culture from the U.S. That's like the biggest thing we're bringing overseas, but it's definitely important to tap in. Like you said, give them that stamp, the ones from that country. Like, yo, we see you. You're carrying the torch for hip-hop out here. Like, salute.
Yeah. Do you have like a personal international one that you feel like went the craziest? Are you allowed to say that?
I really loved the Portugal show.
The Portugal one, okay.
Because it was on the beach. That was just a different vibe. Like, you see the sunset over the beach. Like, that was super dope. I really like the Thailand show. But yeah, hard to say favorites, but I like them all.
I be living through like the international shows through like Chow's story.
Yeah.
Chow and Bullet.
Yeah,
like I just be watching
Bullet.
I just watch like Bullet stories like what's really happening.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Chow is like Chow's story is like the highlights. Bullet is
Yeah.
like the struggle, you know? Like the 17-hour flights and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like I just see the pain in Bullet's face like going around with Chow.
Yeah. No, it's tough, like you on a plane for that long, like bro, it takes like a whole day to get to India or Thailand. You know, you got to take multiple planes. It's not fun, you know.
What has been like business-wise? What has been the hardest? I don't want to say hardest, but what have you had to overcome doing these shows internationally that you feel like has been like on a business tip? Because I feel like a lot of people would want to know about that. Like, what really goes into making these plays and bringing that American culture to like places like India and Thailand? And like, is it harder? Is it easier? Like, where does that kind of lie on that scale?
I think a big thing is the language barrier. You know, like you're out there and there's a conversation going on between you're watching like security people talk about something and you're not sure if there's a problem or if because like the voice might be a little elevated or if they're just talking to each other about something regular, you know. But it's like it looks. Are they yelling? Like, what are they saying? Is everything okay?
Yeah.
So yeah, like just culture shock, language barrier. But honestly, they've just been, for the most part, really smooth. I think also just working with international partners. You know, our international shows tend to be like structured as license deals with a local promoter.
Okay.
Where there's like, we do participate a lot. And, you know, we still book the lineup and do all these things, but, you know, they're our business partner locally. So we got to, you know, vet these companies and, you know, they're not us though, right? So sometimes things go wrong and like we are the ones that get the blame.
Sure.
Even though it's not us, right? So we have to be very cognizant of that.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. I want to talk about, you know, also the a lot of the, you know, me being Puerto Rican, like when you guys started really putting like Latin artists on the festival, like I thought that was a really huge moment too. You know, in LA you had Peso Pluma, headlining as the first Latin artist to headline a Rolling Loud, which was crazy. And then obviously in Miami you did Anuel AA and El Alfa. They performed in 2023, I believe, at that Rolling Loud. What was, you know, that's a very big decision to make too, because I remember when the Peso Pluma news came out, everybody was kind of like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like it was very jarring for a lot of people, but for you, what was that decision to like lean into that Latin crowd now too?
I think it's just hip hop touches, like hip hop culture touches outside of hip hop music. So like whether it's an artist like Eladio Carrion, who's basically like a Spanish rapper.
Of course.
Right? Or it's a Peso Pluma who's not rapping, but he's very hip-hop culture inspired. I mean, the dude will wear do-rags or like, you know, he dresses very hip-hop. His subject matter is very hip-hop. So, just like touching all the places that hip-hop culture reaches, you know?
Yeah. I
think that's super important for us. Don't matter what the language is. And also, it's undeniable the fan base, you know?
Sure.
Peso Pluma fans in LA, like, it's a lot of them. So in Florida, so many Puerto Ricans, you know?
Of course.
And we might, you know, we got more artists we're going to be announcing as well, so.
Oh, for the Orlando show?
Yeah.
Okay, sick. Well, we can talk about it off camera, but like, some Latin artists maybe?
Potentially, yeah.
I like that.
Maybe maybe not. But like Danny Towers, he just did a full EP. It was a little longer than an EP in Spanish. Like he you know, this guy's platinum and gold in English, but he's Puerto Rican Cuban. Was like, yo, I'm gonna make a Spanish project.
Right.
And he's good friends with Eladio. He played it for Eladio. Eladio was like, yo, what the fuck? Let me get on this. Let me executive produce this. Let me take you on tour. Like, shout out Eladio. Shout out Rimas, Jomi. Those are great people.
Yeah. You know, man, I was gonna get to the Rolling Loud artists later, but since we're here, let's talk about it. So, you know, Danny Towers, obviously a good friend of us as well. When he put out the Latin project, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on here? Because I think I had seen the records with like Midnight and Eladio come out. I think he has 2 songs with Eladio out now, which were both great. And it was so funny because it was like, what I've noticed lately too, you know, I'm sure you're familiar with Slater.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you know, because Slater used to be like
you got a song with Slater too.
He does have a song with Slater. Yeah. So you know, Slater was a trap artist from New York, right?
Ask Slater. I wrote a bar for him.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, just one bar. We were in the studio.
In Spanish.
Yeah. We were in the studio in Madrid, and he was like, I forget what it was, but he was like trying to figure out like the next rhyme, and I was like, yo, what if you said this? And he was like, yeah, that's hard.
And he put it in the song?
Yeah.
Is the song out?
I don't know. I gotta check. But yeah, shout out Slater. He's a super cool dude.
How's your Spanish?
Perfect.
Perfect?
Yeah. It's my first language.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, it is your first language. Okay.
And I wouldn't say it's perfect, but yeah, it's my first language.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's fire. So with Danny, right? Like, you know, I see Slater and Danny having like a similar trajectory, like going from obviously English to Spanish, right? Yeah. And kind of, you know, obviously you have Danny, you have Ski, you have Chow. With Danny, what was like the turning point with the pivot to get him to go full force with the Latin music?
I think he just loves that music in general. You know, he was already a fan of it, and something just, I don't know. He just wanted to do it one day. You know what it was? He started working with this this producer in Orlando, Hydra.
Oh yeah, I know Hydra. Yep.
And at first the goal was like, it wasn't to make Spanish music. He was just like gonna work with Hydra, but Hydra is such a prolific Spanish producer that he was like, oh, let me try. I don't know. I think that was part of it, you know. But yeah, he just wanted to try it out, and then the shit he was making was fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we ran with it.
And then like his connections with like Midnight and Eladio, that was all just like natural. They all
So Danny's always had his fingers on the pulse, like as far as who to work with, like you know, put himself in position working with getting with Wi-Fi's Funeral and XXX Tentacion and then Ski Mask and the whole members only wave. And then, like, you know, he had that song Florida Water Go Crazy, largely because he was like, yo, let me get La Tyler on this, when La Tyler was just starting to blow up. Yeah. So with the Spanish stuff, he was like, we didn't know Midnight yet. That was, like, he was friends with Eladio. He had a song with Eladio years ago where Eladio was in Spanish and Danny was in English. They were always friends. But Midnight, we didn't know Midnight yet. And he was like, yo, Midnight is the one coming out of Puerto Rico right now. I gotta get him on a feature. So the one of the songs that we did with Midnight, it was like a hit him, talk to management, agree on a price, do a studio session together, pay him, get the verse, that sort of thing. But then they hit off the friendship, and then figure out that. Well, then we kind of start figuring out because we're hanging out more with Eladio, and then Midnight keeps being around. So because Eladio and Midnight have a friendship, so then it just kind of became like fucking three banditos, you know? Like, it's like, bro, I'm telling these guys, y'all got to do an album together. Eladio, Midnight, Danny album will go crazy.
Yeah, nah, because the music they have together is fire.
Yeah, it's a real friendship. Like, I love Midnight. I'm like, bleed. Like, bro, that dude is such a nice dude. You know, I don't know who else knows him. Like, if anybody got beef with him or something, don't cross me up in it. But whenever I've been with Midnight, super nice dude.
That's always my thing. I'm like, yo, I just know him. Like, we just cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't got no beef with y'all. I don't even know who y'all are.
Yeah, nah, because bro, I've been around Midnight. Yeah. He'll have like twice where a great friend of him has been murdered.
Oh, really?
And then I'm just like, dude, I'm so sorry. You know, and like, I don't know what's going on in the streets in Puerto Rico and whatnot, but so keep me out of that.
Right.
But he a nice guy to me. You know. So
it's the same way I feel about like Chimmy and them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they came to OTR and they helped change the trajectory of our Latin side. So I'm just appreciative of that, and that's why I'm cool with them. But like all that other stuff, I'm not in it. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, don't involve me.
You also have Chow underneath you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How did you find Chow? You and I never talked about that.
So that's my guy, Young Money. Some people call him Manny.
Yep, Manny.
But his real name is Luis, and he's an A&R on my label. And he was playing Chow for me for a minute. And then finally I was like, bro, what we doing here? Like, let's work, man. Let's partner up with this artist. Because my artist deals are like partnerships. So, like, I don't like to say, like, that's my artist. You know, no, that's my partner. So, yeah, Chow and I are partners. Money brought him to me, and we just hit it off. You know, we got a great friendship, brotherhood, and I just believe in him. You know, I think Sexy Drill, like, didn't quite take off. Like, you know, it did, but you know what I mean? Like, it didn't all the way do what I think people thought it was going to do. You know, like, Sexy Drill was embraced by Drake and Don Toliver and all these people, and Cash is for sure doing his thing. But, like, I think there's so much room for growth in that genre still. And also, Chow himself is just so much more versatile than just Sexy Drill. Absolutely. Like, he can get busy on all types of beats. So I'm excited for him for sure.
I told him my favorite song on the last album was Skeletons.
Yeah, I love that song.
That's like one of my favorite songs. I sent it to him. I said, fuck all that other shit. I said, this is my favorite song on this album because I felt like it was like the most like relatable too. Like, he could really get busy if he wants to.
Yeah, and working on the next album his next album's basically done. Maybe got a couple features, but that he's so prolific. He records himself half the time and just makes so many songs. Like, he got a vault of music. So it's just picking which ones we want to drop when and stuff.
About time for that.
Yeah. That next album, it's just, you know, we got to creatively step it up to the like, you saw Sex Drive with the cover so crazy, all the content so crazy, the rollout awesome. So it's like, how are we gonna level that up?
Yeah, because that rollout was like perfect to me.
Yeah,
it worked out like everything. Like I had mentioned, I'm like, I love the cohesion of like everything. Even like because he gave me like the Untitled for the album, like. Or Jimmy gave me the Untitled like a week or two before it dropped. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, bro, I love this. He looked at the Untitled. He's like, bro, you don't even have the right Untitled. I'm like, what? Yeah. And then he gave me the Untitled with the skits that, you know, at the end of all the songs and whatnot. And then when I listened to that, I was like, oh, wow, this sounds like 10 times better too. Like, this sounds even better than what I was just listening to. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's crazy. Shout out our distributor, Empire. Yeah. The album wasn't done till Wednesday before, you know, they drop on Thursday nights. Yeah. We didn't turn in the final version until Wednesday.
Bobby told me. Actually, no, Bobby did tell me that.
Like, Bobby tried to stay up all night with Chow getting it done, but really it ended up being Chow and, like, my second in command, his name's Mito, and him and Chow were just, Money was there too, I think, but I think everybody fell asleep except Chow and Mito, just like locking in on final mixes, like skits and transitions in and out of songs, making sure it flowed perfectly. Yeah. Oh, Jeff Giddy in the house. What up, man?
Oh, shit.
Shout out to him. He just dropped a label, or he just started a label.
Oh, fire.
Yeah,
fire,
he's a fire producer that's been around for a little minute. But yeah, him and what's that songwriter's name? Fuck. I just started following him. Damn, that's fucked up. But him and this really prolific songwriter that's written like some of the top. Ron. His name is Ron. Man, I'm blanking
bro,
right
you
now.
having the longest day of your life. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, they just started a label together. Yeah.
But on the chat tip, when you were saying about Sexy Drill, you know what I feel like, right? I feel like when the Kehlani song came out, not Kehlani, the Jordan and the 2D Kehlani song, I feel like that song got so big that it kind of just like, not killed, but it definitely kind of like died down a little bit of the
It was crazy to see an outsider from the movement come in and take the sound and run with it and make it went so much bigger. Like that song is bigger than any of the songs that the boys have put out. But at the same time, it was cool to see. Like, you know, it's like, oh, okay, this is bigger than just this pocket of the country. You know, it's reaching overseas.
So kind of shifting gears, like, you know, it's been like the 7-8 year anniversary of Catch Me Outside, right? You just did Catch Me Outside 2.
Yeah.
Directed by Cole.
Yeah.
Right? What with Ski, and as we get ready for 2026 Ski, you know, because I seen Ski in his MMA bag. I know he's getting himself right.
Yeah.
Right? What was the Catch Me Outside 2 moment? Like, what did that mean to you guys? How did it come about? And then how does that lead into what Ski's doing next?
I think it was like he had made a bunch of like half songs that like we thought might be Catch Me Outside too.
Okay.
But then, you know, none of them were. And then he organically just posted a snippet of a song that was not done. It was just like, you know, posted it on his story. I think it wasn't even a feed post. And then fans were going crazy. Pages started posting it, and I was like, yo, send me that. I'm gonna screen record like from the iPhone, like from the Notes app or whatever, like the audio playing. I just screen recorded it, posted on his TikTok, and it went crazy on TikTok. And I was like, bro, they're calling it Catch Me Outside too. So we're like, all right, let's run that. And I don't know, it kind of, on one hand, I feel like it kind of marks like a transition phase for Ski, where it's like, yo, this is what I'm known for, but like on this next album, he's trying a lot of new stuff. He got some jerk beats, some like underground, like the new wave of underground beats.
Nice.
Like, you know, Ski is an icon from his era. You know, he's a legend. He's the last of the Mohicans. You know, he's like, so many people around him passed away, but he's still here with us, and like such a talent. You know, and people hold him to a super high pedestal. You know, it's like they expect a lot from him, and that's why Ski isn't that prolific in dropping, because he holds himself even higher, and he's like, yo, if what I'm dropping, if I don't think it can compete with what I dropped before, like, I'm not trying to do that, you know? So that's why he doesn't drop much, but I think that song marked like a transition period, and honestly, we were supposed to drop the album last year, but he just wants to keep getting it right. So he's working on the album, and he's even taking a break from Rolling Loud this year. You know, he's like, yo, let me just focus, get this album done, you know, put out the album, do a tour, like show people I can stand on my own, you know, because people like just expect them to be main stage Rolling Loud or closing stage 2 at Rolling Loud, and like it's like it's almost like the thing like, oh, do you expect Rolling Loud? It's like, oh, you expect Ski Mask at Rolling Loud. It's like, nah, let me fall back, you know. I'll come back when I feel like y'all are ready for me.
Gotcha. I respect that. I look forward to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's one of the top lyricists in the game. You know, like pen game crazy, and I know he wants to come here very much. Like when we talk about rollouts, he's like, I gotta do On the Radar.
I know you and I have been talking about it since like last July, which I assumed that was probably around the time that you guys were thinking about rolling out the album.
Yeah,
like, and then it just, got
it's a balance of like, damn, you got a moment on TikTok, so like on social media period. So it's like, all right, let's get this video done. Let's drop this song. Let's drop. But we weren't able to meet that moment with the album, which like as a lesson for artists is like, I don't want artists to stop teasing songs, you know, because I think it's important to help with. I think it's a good strategy for rollouts, but like just be careful because if you're not ready to follow it up, you might have to start all over, you know. So I always say like, in a perfect world, you should have your album done before you start teasing songs and dropping songs, so that when something sticks, you can just drop the album.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. I think he's gonna get it right because he's like you said, he's one of the best lyricists. Like he's always kind of been like whenever he does drop or whenever he does release or go on tour or whatever, he's always the topic of conversation. Plus, he has so much love and respect from like everybody else in the game.
Yeah.
I think when his time comes this year, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be amazing.
Like he just did a tour last year, just like 12 cities and cities he's never been to or like never goes to, and sold out like every show.
Yeah.
And off no new music, you know, just
it's crazy.
Catalog, meet and greets sold out in every city. People just loving him. You know, it's like not a lot of people can do that.
I look forward to finally meeting him.
Yeah.
I definitely want to interview him too because I feel like I just have like 10 years of like ski like lore in my brains.
Yeah.
Like
he would. That would be a good interview. We're gonna get it done.
Yeah, because I remember driving around in my Mazda 3 with my ex in like 2016, whatever year Catch Me Outside came out.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, she got in the car. I'm like, this is the song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, this. I'm like, he's the one.
Yeah.
And then she got obsessed with the song, and then she became a Ski Mask fan, and you know how that shit goes.
Yeah, for sure.
So I know we were running low on time, so I want to run through a few of like a few really interesting Rolling Loud moments, and I want to get some stories behind them. Or if there's any cool stories behind them.
Okay.
Number one, DMX at Rolling Loud. Legendary.
Yeah, that was awesome. Really a blessing to be able to make that happen because obviously he passed away after like
a couple years later.
Yeah. Crazy stories there. Not really. He came through. Team was super professional. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I don't have any crazy story about that one. It was just good. It was great to see the crowd. So many years removed from this song dropping, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. The whole crowd up in here. We kind of like recreated the
Woodstock.
Yeah, the Woodstock clip.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was legendary. I remember when that hit the feed, I was like, wow. Like I was like, wow, they really got X at Rolling Loud. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Dipset at Rolling. I don't think that was the same year, but Dipset at Rolling Loud.
Yeah, I got no stories.
No stories about that?
Sorry.
I feel like Dipset always got something.
I got stories. Now I'm not my stories, but I hate to see them beefing. That shit's crazy.
The Cam versus Jim IG comments.
Yeah, it's wild.
Hilarious. Yeah. The future performing in the rain in NYC.
Oh, that was wild. And then we had to cut it. Yeah,
like, the whole ground started flooding.
Yeah. And then there was lightning or whatever. Yeah, that was. I mean. Anytime you got a weather thing, it's insane. You know, one year we had a weather situation where we had to evacuate the venue in Miami and then like let people back in later. But when we evacuated the venue, like some kids got a hold of a golf cart and started driving the golf cart all around the festival. Some kids hopped on the stage. I was like, "Yo, how is all this happening?" That weather is not fun.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was the year. That was the year that I did those 50 interviews, and I was so tired that day that I'm like, I'm leaving early, right?
Yeah.
And then Calvin and Rob stayed for Future that night, and then I saw the lightning in the back. I'm in the Uber going back to my apartment in Queens. I'm like, oh, that don't look good.
Yeah.
And then like an hour later, they're like, Gabe, our equipment is cooked.
No.
I think they were fine.
We were good.
Yeah, they were fine, but they were just like.
Yeah, there was definitely a moment where I was like, oh shit.
Oh, we're fucked. Yeah.
Damn.
I remember seeing all like the videos of like da and everybody who else at that festival. They're like, Gabe, where are you? I'm like, shit, I'm in my bed in Queens. I'm in my apartment. Like, what's up with y'all? But yeah, that was a crazy one too. Rolling Loud, NYC, RIP. You know what I'm saying? The 2-3 years that we got it.
Yeah.
3 years, amazing. You know what I'm saying?
3.
It was 3. Yeah. We appreciate you for that. That's all I'll say.
And I'm not sure like what the model's gonna be. You know, we're young entrepreneurs. We're always iterating, tweaking, figuring out what changes to make. Who knows if we'll take like a Super Bowl model and do a different city every year, or if we're gonna keep it in Orlando, or if it's gonna go back to Miami. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Right.
But I would love to come back to New York. I thought it was a great show.
There's your answer for everybody who's been complaining for the last four.
It's not like we don't like New York.
Yeah, of course.
It's difficult to throw a festival in New York.
Sure. For
a variety of reasons. You know, you got artists being taken off the bill, not by us, by powers that be.
Yep.
And you know, just it's tough out here.
Yeah.
Unions, you know, it's expensive. There's a lot of issues with it, but we'd love to come back.
There you go. There's your answer. Lil Uzi jumping 20 feet into the crowd at Rolling Loud. The infamous picture of him just diving.
Yeah, that was crazy because our lawyer was like, "Yo, we can't let him Uzi's like running out there, and then he we're like, we don't know what's about to happen, and then he gets up on top of the front of house, and then our lawyer's like, "Yo, we can't let him jump. Like, we cannot let him jump. We cannot." And I'm like, "What do you want? Like, you want me to run out there and stop him? You want secure? Like, nobody's climbing up there before he jumps. Like, by the time we get out there, he's already gonna." And as we're just like having this, it's like 10 seconds later, boom, he jumped. It's like, of course you can't stop it.
It's Uzi.
Yeah. Like, and nobody knew that was gonna happen. He just ran out in the crowd. I wonder, and it's a good question for him. Did he know he was about to do that? Like, or did he just run out through the barricades and then like see it and be like, oh, I should jump up there? You know, I don't know if he had it planned from when he was on stage and saw it out there, like, ooh, I want to jump off that. I don't really know, but he did that, and it was textbook form. You know, a lot of people do the stage dives, and then they'll go like feet first, and you really hurt somebody doing that, or yourself. He hit the, jump out and turn the body, so like you're as flat as possible when you land, and so more people can catch you, and they caught him.
Go.
So, yeah, it was textbook form on the stage dive.
Go.
I'm not allowed to support stage dives, though. Please don't stage dive in my show for legal and crowd safety purposes.
There you go. Heard it from the man himself. Owen Wilson. Teaching Owen Wilson how to be YVL at Rolling Loud.
Wow. Yeah, that was lit. You know, he's starring in our movie.
Yep.
The movie is incredible. It's a comedy. It's basically about a kid, a father and a son who go to Rolling Loud together, and everything goes wrong. Like, they get separated, and the dad's trying to find the site. Everything goes wrong.
I love it.
In a funny way. It's written and directed by one of the main people that did The Hangover, Jeremy Garlick. So it's sick. We're even thinking about making it a series. Like, okay, well, Hangover 1, you're in Vegas, but Hangover 2, you're in Thailand. So do we do Rolling Loud 2 in another country, you know? But yeah, so Owen Wilson, super nice guy. And, like, what an actor. You know, I got blessed to, I'm briefly in the movie. I'm in, like, this scene playing some, like, I'm not myself. I'm playing a character. And I was in a scene with him, and just, like, he was so good to work with. I'm not an actor, but he made it feel like I was, you know? Like, and, bro, he just shows up, turns it on. Like,
it's amazing.
It's crazy. Yeah, I never even knew for movies they have body doubles, but not to, like, it's so, like, when they're setting up the scene, they got somebody that has the same hair, same outfit, same face, same, like, skin tone, sitting or standing or wherever that the actor's supposed to be, so that the actor can just be vibing and getting their headspace right or whatever, so that as soon as it's ready to shoot, switch spots, boom, they don't got to set nothing up, it's good to go.
I love that. And has Owen Wilson become a Rolling Loud fan since then?
Yeah, he's his kids love it, he loves it, and he's just a super nice dude.
Yeah, I think I saw a video, was it him watching Sexy Red perform? I seen that.
You hit that face.
And that's when they were filming the movie at that time, right?
Yeah. So we filmed a good amount of the movie at Rolling Loud Miami in 2024, but then we also rebuilt at Trillis Studios in outside of Atlanta, like a mini Rolling Loud for them to like really film the movie, like for like 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know you were only there for a couple days of that.
Yeah. I wish I was there the whole time.
Crazy. Well, okay, I'm going to do one more, and then we got to get you out of here because you got another interview. Ye and Ty Dolla Rolling Loud LA, the extra day that was added on top.
Yeah.
What went into making that happen?
Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, is one of the greatest artists of our lifetime. And any opportunity to have him on our stage, we're here for it. So, regardless of what people may say or things that he's said that have gotten him in a lot of trouble and whatnot, he's an incredible artist. And love having him on our stage. Making that happen was crazy because, you know, he wants to perform in the round.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do at a festival when everybody else is performing on a stage that faces one way. So we built like this whole structure for him to perform in, and we had a special day for him, so like that structure could, you know, just have that going that day. And it was just a blessing of an opportunity to try. There was some confusion, like we thought he was going to be on a mic, so fans thought he was going to be on a mic, but it turned out he did one of the no mic performances. But I still think it's dope. Like with him, it's just like about a moment in time, you know, and you got to be there to witness that moment. So I thought that was great. He was upset because I don't know if you remember, in that time, that's when he had the sheet that was like it looked like a sheet, like the white fabric that was like in a circle, and he was projecting on it. And our production team like tried to communicate this to his production team, but they you know, they wanted to stick with the sheet, and you know, we're like, yo, outdoors, wind, that sheet's probably not going to work. You know, it's going to get blown by the wind. It's not going to stay rigid. Like for outdoors, you got to do something rigid. But so he was upset because they couldn't do the sheet. They set it up and it just was getting blown.
In the wind, yeah.
And so they took it down. But I just think it still looked so sick.
Yo, I looked at it with the fog and everything. It looked incredible.
Yeah, I loved it.
As someone who was there to witness, that was masterfully done.
Perfect. There you go.
The fans liked it. That's all that matters, right?
Masterfully done.
Masterfully
Chef's
done.
kiss.
Well, look, man. Rolling Loud 2026, May
8th through 10th.
8th through 10th, Orlando, Florida. Anything else that the people got to know before we run you off to your next interview?
Get your tickets. They're the cheapest they're going to be right now. RollingLoud.com. And, yo, drink a lot of water.
Please.
Eat healthy. Hit the gym between now and the festival. You know, like at least 3 days a week. Get your steps in every day because, yo, going from stage to stage is no joke. So, yeah, get your health up. Take care of each other in the mosh pit. You see someone fall, pick them up. All that good stuff. And, yeah, just appreciate the support for the last 10 years. And for the next 10 years, let's get it.
Let's get it, man. All right, Tariq, Rolling Loud, May 8th through 10th. 8th through 10th, I did that right?
8th through 10th.
8th through 10th. Get your tickets now. Till next time, The Frequency, JP. Step in, step out. Don't get stepped on. Go show some love. Love is free, support is free, but y'all already knew that. We out. Boom. I got it.
All that.